Hello, everybody. It is August 18th, another Friday. We got a little small break from the heat earlier this week when the humidity dropped a little bit, and then Satan's breath took over again the last 2 days, and right back to moist, disgusting, swampy weather. But so it's been another long week. Glad it's the weekend. Let's make the best of these 2 days off, if you have these 2 days off. And we got a 3-day weekend coming up in a couple weeks, so let's live for that one. Okay, if I had a sombrero and a Mexican flag, I would definitely have it wrapped around my body right now. For those of you who have been following professional wrestling in the state of Louisiana for 20 plus years, and have seen Gulf Coast Wrestling, Gulf South Wrestling, Dog Pound Wrestling, which is run by Rodney Mack and Jazz, anything out in the Lafayette, Houma, Lafayette, even he wrestled a few times for Old School and Voodoo, and everybody, you pretty much came across or saw Mexican Giant. Mexican Giant's dad, Papito, was his manager, and gimmick was awesome, unbelievable. It was just the Mexican Giant gimmick is cool. I've always liked it. I've always liked his dad as a manager because he was just a loudmouth, and it's funny because these people are Mexican, but they're also Cajun. So imagine a Mexican Cajun accent makes it very difficult for a lot of people to understand. So when Otis, Papito, would start screaming and hollering, it was pretty cool. It was pretty funny. I've been knowing Robert and Otis for, like I said, my whole career. And when I tell you, his family is pretty much my family. His mother loves me, his sisters and brothers. I mean, his whole family loves me to death. I love him to death. We lost Papito earlier this week to cancer. It was a shot to those of us who've been in the business as long as we have and been knowing each other for years. And you know what? It doesn't matter. We were all once a big, huge family that everybody's seen every weekend. And nowadays, it just seems like it's kind of separated. And this one's bickering with that one, and that one's bickering with this one. And it doesn't really come to head until somebody passes away that we all mutually loved. Papito was somebody that everybody loved. Papito was... He was awesome. I mean, I'd never forget the time that I'm actually wrestling Mexican Giant one day. It was for NSWA here in Kenner. And I've told y'all before, when I throw clotheslines with everything I have because it's just, that's what I was taught. I did. So the Mexican Giant came off the rope, and I threw a clothesline that he was supposed to duck, or he was going to duck. And in mid-run, he decided to duck at the last minute, and I caught him with my full-fledged, as hard as I can, on top of his head. He just dropped like a ton of bricks. I kicked him out the ring, and I told the ref, you might want to go check on him because I clocked him pretty hard. And I turn around, and all I see is Papito looking up at me going, Minotaur! I think you killed Robin. And that was that voice just would stick to me for the rest of my life. I mean, it's going to for the rest of my life. And it's just things like that just made me start laughing inside. And every time I see Papito, he would come give me a hug. The last time I saw him was roughly about a year ago at a show right outside of Patterson, Louisiana. I want to say Jeanerette. And he looked at me and said, Minotaur, the cancer's taking over. I don't think I have much longer. I said, oh, Papito, don't worry about it. I slapped him on his bald head, gave him a hug. I said, man, you're going to be fine. You can't kill you. They can't kill off bad grass. Here we are a year later, and he left us Monday. And I took a little time off from work, and I drove to Lafayette and went to his wake and got to spend a little time with Robert and Mexican Giant and his family. And they were so ecstatic that I drove all the way from New Orleans to come see him. But, man, what else am I going to do? Like, this man has been part of my life for 23 years. I'm going to drive from New Orleans to go see, to see him for the last time and pay my respects to him. But, man, we had some great times. Actually, if y'all remember Mac Johnson, I saw him at the wake. And, man, Mac's another one. Mac's another one that everybody loved, and he got along with everybody. And we sat down for a good hour and talked about the old days, about going to TK's house and all of us together working out in a ring. And Mac Johnson went on to OVW, and he did a lot in this business. He went on to OVW, which was WWE's developmental territory at the time. And he was actually there with Ben Wood, and so they know each other. And we sat and talked, man, we talked for about an hour, just reminiscing about the old days, and he asked me questions about people who I've come across and vice versa. And, he just, when things like this happen is when we finally get together and tell stories and just reminisce about everything that happened between now and 20 years ago. And it's a shame that we can only get together on certain occasions like this. And it hit me on the ride home that, you know what, man, life really is too short. Matt kept saying, man, how are we this old already? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm retired. I'm 50 years old. I retired from wrestling about a year ago. And it's actually going to be a year, I think either this weekend or next weekend, that I'm retired. I don't know what to say. It's just, life goes by fast. So if there's anybody out here watching this video, life goes by you fast. So if there's something you want to do in your life, by all means, if possible, get it done and do it. My only regret about this business is I didn't get in when I was younger. I got in when I was 26 years old. I wish I would have gotten in at 19 or 20. But hey, it is what it is. Life is life. So life is short. And Papito definitely will be missed. Papito was like a father figure to all of us and coming up through this business. And he was a very, very awesome human being, and his whole family is. And I loved him to death. So yeah, I know this one's kind of somber today, and it's kind of short. But look, this weekend, tomorrow, the mecca of wrestling in Louisiana is Houma at the East Park Recreation Center. Pro Wrestling 225 is putting on a show. It's called the Mayor's Cup, and they are going to have some serious matches. I'm going to look forward to seeing it. I'm going to be in the back. It's their 50th show as a promotion, and they bringing some of us guys back to recognize us. So I will be there, some shape or form. I will be in the back watching these matches, because there's a couple of matches on that card that I can't wait to see, because I've never actually had time. I've never actually been able to sit down and actually watch wrestling matches at shows, which I've done only because of studying. But now I can watch it as a person outside the business, where I can kind of fangirl a little bit in the back and watch some matches that I haven't seen and that I'm looking forward to seeing tomorrow. So I'm hoping y'all can come. It's at East Park Recreation Center. Doors open at 5:30. I think bell's at 6. So look, show up. I will be out in the crowd somehow, some way, and let's see what happens tomorrow night. Mexican Giant, if you're watching this, Robert, I love you. I love your family. Keep your head up. If you need me, call me. Later.